The Anachronauts. They travel through time by downloading history to their brains and archive the past in order to save the future. With their trusty brain download computer, the Epic Traversier, they randomly visit the past year after year. Join them as they embark on their next adventure. Prepare yourself for anachronology.
Through the ages we're lighting a tree, unwrapping the joy of what Christmas can be. From the first snowfall to the lights so bright, we're making the season feel just right. It's a holiday special, the joys in the air, calm and clear, spreading love everywhere. With time as our canvas, we paint it so clear, the spirit of Christmas is forever right here.
Let's talk about, we've been hitting on gifts in this special. Let's talk about some of the best, worst gifts of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And this was kind of the pocket, at least for myself and Clay, our
wheelhouse,
our formative years. We were growing up ever since we were little kids, going into teenagers. And so there's a whole plethora of different kinds of gifts that you go through growing up. And so let's hit a couple of these. Let's talk about them. We'll go through them rather quickly. I'm sure maybe some of you had these at home. If you did, that's great. If not, well, you probably can't find a lot of these things anymore. Let's go into the 1980s. We'll talk about the best first. Kids. We have talked about the kids on the show a few times, mostly about people beating the shit out of each other. This was kind of that early must-have gift that ran out of supplies. Parents went crazy. They came out in 83, and obviously the price tag on these in 83, $25, and somebody would give you a hand job in a Kmart parking lot for one.
There is, if anyone still has some toys that weren't thrown out from your youth, look for these, because the OG ones on eBay, Tom and I brought this up in an early episode. The OG ones, boku bucks. If you got these laying around, it may have brought you joy as a child if you haven't received one. But if you have that from that time, still, it may bring you some extra cash in your pocket this holiday season, because people, even back then, the OG ones, people go goofy for them now.
They want those big, creepy, lifeless eyes. That's what they want, baby. All right, moving on. The
Rubik's
Cube debuted in 1980. Revolutionary 3D puzzle. They were saying you could buy one in 80 for $1.99. And this was honestly, in 1980, what a cool gift to get. I mean, you talk about it is the perfect stocking stuffer. It fits any fucking stocking.
OG fidget spinner.
OG fidget spinner, no doubt.
I would say this still holds up as a gift. This still holds up.
It's
it still holds up.
Even if you're somebody that didn't grow up in this time, it's still a fun interactive puzzle. Like you said, I think the whole fidget kind of movement has happened and continues. People just like to fuck around with shit. This is the perfect fuck around gift.
Oh yeah.
Rubik's Cube. This one was awesome to get in the year of 1985. I think I got mine in 87.
I think I was
I wasn't lucky enough to get mine in the debut. I got mine a few years later, retailed in 1985 for $90.
This was definitely a gift. I remember my aunt and uncle gifting me and my brother this, and it was
a solid gift.
It was definitely post launch. It was several years removed. They had I remember, because they both worked at GE in our town. They were a little more well off than me and my mom, or my mom and my dad. And I remember they'd be like, "Oh, are you kidding?" They'd be ecstatic.
Oh, it's a killer gift. And plus, I mean, I want to say that you could buy the entertainment system, came with the gun for Duck Hunt, came with the controller, and you got the double game. You got Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Double fun.
So much earlier in the episode, I had a list of gifts that I asked for. I felt this was so unattainable. I remember not even asking for the NES, because I remember it was there's no way we'll get NES. I didn't even ask for this.
Obviously up there in the paramount of best gifts of the 80s. Moving on, another best gift of the 80s, if you were lucky enough to get one of these adorable Care Bears. 1983 dropped the Care Bears, colorful toys with their accompanying TV series, movies. They even made little action figures that were the Care Bears. These were about they say the stuffed animals went for about $25 a pop, which back then
that's
a premium.
That is, dude. Dude, I wonder if at some point in time, like the price you're giving, I wonder if like a year, 6 months before they were like $10 or $15, so you know what I mean, just a little cheaper, and then someone was like, "Hey, you want to know what we're gonna do? Let's raise it 20.
People are going to punch
Yeah,
each
let's,
other.
let's raise it up. Let's
Yeah.
put $5 more. Let's put five more $1988
I
on
mean,
it."
adorable teddy bears that blast love from their stomachs. Get out of town.
Listen,
It's a fucking sell.
it costs us nothing.
Nothing.
We paid Taiwan. It costs us
No,
nothing.
they were printing money with these fucking
Yeah.
Care Bears. Hot, hot, hot. Let's round off best gifts of the 80s, which we actually just saw this in the Wish book. The Walkman.
Walkman.
The 1980s Sony Walkman revolutionized personal music listening, no doubt. This is crazy. In 1980, the go around price for something like this, 200 clams.
Dude, that is I'm not sure like make or model this is, but like no bullshit, that is a good looking Walkman. You know what I mean? Like
That
even
is kind of the trademark one that got real popular. Like I don't know if you could call that the first one, but that's like the classic Walkman. And you know, they just re-released that like 6 years ago or something.
just even like aesthetically, like I understand that it is using like a reel-to-reel physical media, so the housing, everything, but just even like the blue on white, the little yellow power button, like how
Killer.
like dialed back this is for the time and how like well it's executed. Like I gotta tip my hat to like this is a very good looking.
I mean, and it's ready to go.
Yeah.
They had the little clips on the back of them. You just slap them on your belt buckle, put a little Huey Lewis of the News in that bitch.
Yeah, who is like the Japanese Sony Steve Jobs that figured this out? Like, no, put a less of fluorescent color.
Yeah, dude. Well done on that.
Mm.
Let's switch over to 1980s. Let's talk about, we had to talk about good, got to talk about bad, talk about the worst gifts. Starting off with the fucking Pet Rock.
Talk about printing money.
It was basically created in the late 1970s, but this is what AI producer says. It lingered around in the 1980s. A literal rock sold as a pet, widely considered absurd for the price tag of $3.95.
I think the guy who started this, I think literally when he launched it, like in a month or two, he was a millionaire. He was a millionaire. I think literally he was broke as fuck. He was like, I'll sell fucking pet rocks.
Wow.
Dude, millionaire.
Yeah. And then I'd seen like they made the little like googly eye sets you could put on the rocks. It obviously blew up. It was a stupid thing that, you know, somebody definitely got right. But I'm sure that like if you were a right-minded person and you got this, it was just like the premier gag gift of that time. A white elephant gift. You know what I mean?
But fucking jokes on everybody because homeboy that came up with this, he literally turned into a millionaire selling fucking rocks.
Yeah, he can go and pick as many rocks as he wants on his super yacht. All right. The Clapper. The 1980s, a sound-activated switch seen as gimmicky. This price tagged around $20 in the 80s. The iconic clap on, clap off, the Clapper commercial. I mean, that shit is like, you grew up in that time, you heard it, people made fun of it. I never knew anybody that had a Clapper, but I guess it was kind of cool. It was like kind of what we all love about like hue lights and shit now. It was just this whole like sensory overload for people. They could fucking clap and turn their damn lights on and off.
I was just thinking, I don't remember anyone that I knew having Clapper, but that dude, that clap on, clap off, you did the dude that still, it's for as ingrained as that is. You and I both were like, I don't know anyone who had a Clapper.
I know. I like not even like one of my like I don't know weird aunts or my grandmother's never had one.
How are they paying for the advertising if no one's buying it,
dude? Like, was there just eventually in the future like tons and tons of storage containers with just Clappers that they never sold that are in there?
Listen, I'm just gonna leverage it. I'm gonna Ponzi scheme the Clapper. we've moved units. Run it again. Run the ad again. Run it again.
But I agree. You talk about an ad jingle really being synonymous with a brand. I think the Clapper's up there, and this next worst gift of 1980 is up there.
I definitely knew. I knew a couple people who had these. They didn't grow shit.
My sister definitely had a Chia Pet. I remember it, and it was like it looked good for like 2 days, and then like when you don't give a fuck about it, it just turns into any other gross ass fucking house plant.
Dude, it looked like a toy that got dropped in the dirt and it got rained on. Dude, that's what it looked like. These are the ones that I remember seeing. I never had one, but I remember.
And like you'd spread on the little seed concoction on it and just water it. But the thing too, I mean, I just said $15 for this. That's $15 in 1980. That's steep, man. I mean, back then, I mean, Christ, I mean, I felt like you could buy like a cassette for $10 or something back then. Like that's quite a ride for a Chia Pet. And then they went crazy with Chia Pet. It was like everything. They came back in the 90s. They still make. I mean, I feel like if you go to Spencer Gifts, you're gonna find a ton of fucking stupid ass like Chia Pets.
Dude, I can even remember. I think like my cousin like being like, "Oh, I got a Chia Pet." Even like the spreading on the seed and the mixture. Like you're trusting a kid to do like. In this image, this thing is pristine, the amount of microgreens growing out of it. You think a kid is going to get coverage like this on a freaking, ceramic figure? Nah. Even in the best case scenario, there's going to be like alopecia coming out of your Chia Pet. There is no way in hell that you could expect in good faith an 8-year-old to turn a Chia Pet into this.
I want to see a restaurant that like actually sources microgreens from a bunch of Chia Pets.
Oh man,
on display at the restaurant.
Oh, that's nice. That's a gift. That's Instagram. That's Instagram worthy, bro. That's Instagram worthy.
Happen. That's a New York pop up waiting to happen.
Oh, dude, seriously.
All right, let's move on to this one. Had never heard of it. But the laser. I'm sorry, I missed one here. Hold on. I thought there was. Did it just skip to laser tag?
We got to skip to laser tag.
I guess it did. Okay.
Well, the laser tag.
There was something called Pogo Balls that that AI producer gave me. Just maybe it's after this one. Nope. Sorry.
Nope. All right.
Okay, so we'll skip Pogo Balls, but again, Pogo Balls. Those are those things when. Do you remember them? They were like a plastic circle, and then on top was a half a ball,
and the bottom
was half a ball.
I remember that.
Have to like get your feet on them and you could bounce around on the ball. That's what a Pogo Ball was. It
was the dentists of America saying, how can we get children to break their front teeth by falling off something to
pretty much. I think that's fair. On to this one that obviously is here. Laser tag toys were huge in the 80s. Oh, yeah. A lot of them were fucking junk. Cool concept, but expensive. And usually you'd have to buy a lot of sets for them to be used. My friend had this one. I remember this one with like the black gun and the fucking, the helmet would obviously like set off when you would get hit. These things were expensive as shit. I want to say like for 2 of them, they were like $50.
I was gonna say, just even looking at this looks like a movie prop. This doesn't even look like a toy that was. That's how good this looks. This doesn't look like it was sold in stores. It looks like this is like this from this movie. That's how good quality this toy looks.
But laser tag was an expensive fad, and then it went away, and then obviously you just like had the like broken fucking laser tag guns in your garage. So that makes sense to round off, I think, the worst gifts of the 1980s. Let's jump over to the 1990s best. Of course, we talked about this son of a bitch. Mr. Tickle Me Elmo came out in 1996. This was just another one that complete hysteria across people in the Christmas season. People clawing and beating each other up to get this for their kids.
I want a fist fight.
For $28.99 back when it came out in 96. So almost $30 for this kind of creepy pedophilia feeling Elmo doll that everybody fucking went crazy for.
The Tickle Me Elmo wars of the 90s.
Bloodshed. Moving on, best of the 90s. Nintendo killing it. Obviously, Nintendo showing up again with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The SNES came out in 91. Price tag $200. What a jump up. Just basically a whole $100+ from the original set. But this was obviously the beefed up graphics, the 16-bit graphics.
Oh, yeah.
The hyped up 4-button controller with the little top buttons. Dude, it was just another big swoop and revolution for that cartridge gaming.
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo? What?
Mario World.
Yoshi's Island?
Nope. All right. The Furby.
Furby. Oh, we've had Furby on the show before.
Another beat people up for a Furby. 1998, Furby's dropped. Interactive talking toy. $35 for a Furby. Now that's if you could probably buy one at the store. If you bought it from some dude at a back alley behind a fucking Toys R Us, you're probably paying what, 90 fucking $100.
We need to come up with a new freaking like talking animatronic toy, brother. It seems like every decade there is something. We need to crack the code on what is going to be.
Get on that right now.
Yeah,
creating and give us some blueprints.
Yeah, what is the new Furby? What is the Furby of 2025? Because it seems like it is much like a 10-year flood or something. Every decade there's going to be some talking furry animatronic that people will shed blood for.
All right. Another just insanity item was the Beanie Babies.
Oh, Lord.
1990s collectible stuffed animals, $5 to $10 each. And again, just the whole beanie bubble. Everybody collected them, traded them. I mean, basically, eBay started because of Beanie Babies in most senses. And then it just was over before it started.
One of the most contested assets during divorces was who gets what Beanie Baby. That's how messed up this market was. Freaking Beanie Babies getting split over the freaking family car or the timeshare or what have you.
Yeah, I remember that famous courtroom scene where
Oh, yeah.
they're divvying up their fucking Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. All right, here we go. Let's round off best of 1990s. Just talked about PlayStation, 1995. The first console of PlayStation and Sony retailed $300. That thing is steep, man. $300 for 95, but obviously that set the bar. I mean, at that point, everything was going to just keep going up and up. Discs were taking over. Cartridges were on the way out. That was a fucking win-win. If you had that PlayStation, you were a lucky boy. Or all right, worst of 1990, Tamagotchi. 97, addictive, but eventually annoying to play because either you were just like killing all the Tamagotchi and not giving a shit anymore. $20, pretty steep price tag for something that's the size of a fucking keychain.
I was gonna say up by us, at least flash in a pan. I think I had like one or two school mates that had this. Didn't they come in? They're like, "Oh, I got a Tamagotchi." They're enthralled with it for I don't know, maybe a month. Never, at least in our neck of the woods, Tamagotchi never took offy.
All right, that's out. Another thing that came and went, and it was also just kind of a thing that was fun while it lasted. And then why the fuck would you get these for Christmas?
Poggies.
1994, fleeting playground fad that parents often found wasteful. Price $1 to $5 per pack. And if you could win out of your own valor, people's pogs, your slammers, a little bit of fucking Thunderdome action with your pog playing. But then we got tired of them. And then, I don't know, you came back from college. You're like, what's this big fucking binder of this stupid cardboard caps?
I think I mentioned it when this was on the show before. One like birthday party I went to when I was a kid that was like, a gift that was everybody gets the pogs. I think we went to school. We might have played with pogs maybe a week. Again, another thing on our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
No pog round robin.
I agree with that. I think that especially where we grew up in New England in the Northeast, it was like maybe a weekend with those things happened and it was cool. And then you were just like, we're going to go back outside and be kids of the wilderness.
Yeah, it originated in Hawaii, so it only makes sense that we were like the last to freaking get it.
Yes. All right, Pogs. Thanks, Pogs. Now, this one I had never heard of, and I was very enthralled to learn more about. Sky dancers.
The ones where you pull it and it like spins around. Oh, dude, I can see the commercial for this, dude.
Fun because injuries as they unpredictably launched. Price tagged about $15. Now, I needed to deep dive a little bit here and go into some of the lore. So let's roll the tape.
Sky dancer.
Sky dancers. Let me see here.
What's our theme song?
I need to find the Sky Dancers. Unleash the Sky Dancer. Where the fuck is this? Here we go. Share the screen. Here we go.
I want to.
Do you see this? This is going to be the commercial for Sky Dancers.
Sky Dancers.
Taylor Swift?
They're flying! Just for me, Sky Dancers, dance for me. Wow, they really fly! Come to me, dance for me.
Really fly.
Looking like Peggy from Mad Men.
These girls, I'm gonna just say, I mean, I thought maybe it would be girls younger than this that would like these little flying princesses. These girls look like
Sky Dancers fly for me.
Yeah, these girls look like they're like fending off advances from boys. They should be playing with like spinning tops.
playing with my Skywalkers with Julie.
Sky Dancers, real flying dancers with magical wings and pretty dresses. Pull their magic star and they
I love how they make girls, like, you can tell that like when they were making the commercial, like, now make sure when you pull the cord, pull your face back so you don't get your eyeball ripped open by one of the wings of the Sky Dancer.
swirl and fly. Sky Dancers fly just for me. Oh, flying Sky Dancers. Doll and Dollars launcher sets each sold.
It's fun for 30 seconds. Sky dancers.
Pretty much.
You could also tell that, like, whatever they put in the order for all these sky dancers, they were waiting for them to, they were to see how these moved, because all of them sky dancers is white, and all of them girls in the commercial are white. There's no ethnic sky dancers. You would
there were no black sky.
Yeah, there's no brown sky dancer, no yellow sky, no indigenous First Nations people sky dancer.
In the world of the sky dancers. So that's sky dancers, and I'm like, all right, cool. I thought like maybe it was a toy line. Dude, it was a straight up commercial.
Oh my god. Can they diversify?
I'm feeling like James Cameron ripped off some sky dancer
Avatar,
some Na'vi shit. I don't know. Just saying, creators of sky.
Jake Fuli.
Wow, with this big like grand musical entrance. So apparently it looks like these don't look like adorable ballerina sky dancers. This is like male sky dancers too. So is there an entire like society of sky dancer people?
Who was the fucking signing the checks to make a animated show around sky dancer, bro? This is like someone really believed in sky dancers.
Bubbling down. Someone had some dirty socks on some, sky dancers. Okay, so there's that cartoon, and then there's just this video, which is awesome.
Oh, it's an injury. An injury.
No, watch.
Fire. In the fire.
If you love me, let me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no.
Primo.
Sky dancer.
Sorry.
Sky dancer. Too precious to fly, too beautiful to live. Into the fire with you, sky dancer.
Too great. All right, let's go back to our list. We've got sky dancers. We got two more here for the worst of 1990. Let's go on to this. I do remember some people having these, and I remember like asking my mom for one, and she was like, "They're too dangerous," and they were pretty fucking sweet until they were then turned into like phys ed equipment. Were the roller racer,
dude,
a clunky sit-down ride toy that was awkward to use. Price tagging at $25, but these things were badass, man.
Dude, I remember, I thought these were like discontinued for like injuries. I remember this is like one of the greatest days in elementary school gym class where it was like raining outside. And we're like, we'll fucking get on these things. Dude, you're blowing my mind. I haven't seen these things in
dude.
35 years.
Roller racer. Let's go. Let's cut back to the tape where we can watch a little bit more. I pulled, I think, an old roll. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, dude, I remember having a blast in a hardwood floor gym. Look at all these autistic kids. If you're non-verbal,
you can put corners on that thing like no tomorrow. Especially if you had a little bit of a hill or something, you could.
No batteries, but something really moves that thing. I got a roller racer. Roller racer's got me.
I mean, do they make roller racers for adults? Because they should.
I don't get it, but I got it.
I think
I would just be riding. I would be like annoying. You know how like people are. I mean, it's just like how people are on bikes and scooters. And
that's the next roller.
Excuse me, this latest roller racer.
Dude, we have to crowdfund the electric roller racers.
Roller racer sit skate.
Oh man.
Dude, all day, man.
Dude, it's just spare bike parts, spare skateboard parts. They were just like, oh god damn it, I don't have enough to make a skateboard or a bike. I know.
It's like it is just like the guys in the fucking factory were just fucking around, made this fucking like old curmudgeon-y boss guy smoking a cigarette was like, wait a minute, what is that? What is that?
Yeah, instead of getting fired, he had him draw blueprints to make the roller racer.
That's pretty fucking incredible. And then this is, of course, what happens when you F around and find out.
Oh, get hurt. Get hurt. Get hurt. Yes. Oh, yes. Get hurt on a roller racer. They needed two people to drag him, and he got this much air up that ramp.
Right in the tailbone.
Right in the.
I love that. Like, as a good friend behind the camera, you just gotta laugh.
That's a great logo. Just a kid grabbing his ass on the ground, hurt.
That should be the roller racer fucking logo, dude.
Instead of like Lacoste, how it has like the gator on it. This is like children's playwear. Fucking hurt ass 8-year-old.
All right, let's round off worst gifts of 1990s. Going back to the video game category with the flop Virtual Boy that came out in 1995. A poorly executed Nintendo console that caused headaches. That's not what you want it to cause. So I would say that I'm sure there's a few more in the book of failures of Nintendo, and I don't think there's many, but I know this one is pretty much like the cream of the crop. This one was like, it was $180 in 1995.
I think that was like the only year it was around for. Like, I think they pulled it. Like, dude, I think it was like it was out for like a season, and they were like, "No one's buying this. We got to fucking yoink it."
Yes, they exactly did that, and I think
they grabbed their ass on it.
Every guy in the fucking boardroom just fell and grabbed their asshole.
It came from the third dimension.
It is horrible.
Its own brain.
No, red. It's definitely red.
Voice. Its own legs.
It's not good.
You can tell that this is obviously this is very much after Terminator 2 Judgment Day, 95. They're going hard on the whole like futuristic thing. But you're right. That's the only thing I remember about it was the horrible idea to have a black and red like LED screen in the goggles.
And I think the launch game was like a tennis game that was just horrible. It's like they had that in like I don't know if it was like Dr. Mario or something. Yeah, just awful all around.
Yeah, that was a poo-poo gif of 1990s. Here we go. The final round here in the 2000s best of Nintendo Palette Cleanse from the Virtual Boy. Obviously, this is basically more than 10 years later. They gave us the Wii in 2006. Revolutionary motion controls, family-friendly appeal, a $250 price tag, and another thing that you could not get for months. It was everybody was sold out of Wiis. I remember when I lived with the boys in the house, we bought a Wii off Craigslist and went and bought it out of some
I remember that story.
Like Whole Foods or something. It was like so fucking sketchy.
And this came up on the show before, and we brought it up before. Arguably, the golf game on the Wii, on the OG. The golf game is like, dude, for a multiplayer game when you're hanging out with your friends, you don't even have to like drink and smoke to have fun playing that golf game. Like that is Nintendo
of entertainment.
Yeah, for being, like you said, like all ages friendly, whether you're a kid or adult, for it to be fun, for it to actually like work. Arguably, that golf game I don't even like sports games. That is hands down one of the best like sports video games I've ever played, and it's all like bobbleheady looking, PS1 graphic stuff.
It was an awesome console. I mean, I think it eventually kind of ran aground a little bit just because there was only so many games that started being cool and being a novelty to play with the motion controller, and then we even mentioned at that point like PlayStation got in the game with motion controllers. But they had to walk so everyone else could run. So bravo to you. We best of 2000s. Moving on. Of course, we talked about this monstrosity.
Oh, it's a pod.
Gear, the iPod revolutionizing music consumption with portability, massive storage. When this bitch came out in 2001, $400. $400. And I want to say that like 8 gigs or something was the storage amount on it. It wasn't anything. It was a thick boy. It was about.
Oh yeah.
I can still hear the iPhone pod toggle though.
Oh, dude, that is. I remember with this. However, this came up on the show before. We were talking about the textile for all of the things that this has been replaced by. Like I remember us. We were talking about like it still seems. I think it was like something CD, whatever. But as far as like old tech that. We wouldn't mind having like maybe not the first generation iPod, but that iPod where they got it all slimmed down. It's got like basically the seamless interface aside from that wheel where that touch of just your thumb, that oh man, that was like that haptic, like that like Gen 1 haptic feedback type stuff. Man, not on this one, but
man, it was definitely a hot commodity with the ear pods and all that shit. Just a super revolutionary piece. You were lucky to nab one in the 2000s. That was an awesome.
And the dot matrix printer charger it came with.
And then also another awesome piece of tech, gaming tech that you could have grabbed in the 2000s was in 2005, Xbox
360.
I mean, the Xbox was cool. I had an Xbox. I think that was like early 2000s. The Xbox came out. This one was totally a step up. I think graphically it was really tight. I remember Gears of War was like the big kind of anchor game that everybody pushed out on this. And yeah, it was good until it had the red ring of death.
I was gonna say the one thing that I remember was the
down, man.
Yeah, that was definitely the red ring of death, but the battery pack on the controller. I remember like them like fixing the problem of needing to not charge your controller by offering the battery pack on it. The only downside is them like 4 freaking AA batteries. It would be heavy as hell. Yeah, it would do the trick, but it's like, man, that added a little bit of heft to the remotes. We didn't care. We didn't know any better. We didn't care.
Yeah, $300 for that in 2005. If you didn't want to spend that, if you wanted to spend less and I guess have a worse time, you could have gotten a Razor scooter in 2000. But a fun and practical outdoor toy for kids, $100. It's saying it's on the best list for 2000s. If you're a kid, I mean, I guess if anything with wheels that you could fuck around with outside, I think we have made fun of these constantly on the show. They always come up. We've seen like the 3-wheeled ones and all like the crazy shit that kind of spawned off of this original idea of the scooter. And obviously here we are nowadays, we're still haunted by scooters because now they're all like electric and self-propelled and they're in cities everywhere. And like businessmen are whipping through the streets in them. So like they didn't go away.
Listen, those are bad for the planet. Those lithium-ion batteries are dangerous. Just bring back the analog razor. Just give me an app that allows me to pick up an analog razor and dump it at the side of the fucking road.
Instead of like the city bikes, it's just city razors. I'm never gonna get to work. My legs are so fucking tired. I love that initiative. That's great. So yeah, were you
friendly?
You have a scooter. Another thing, rounding off best of 2000s, I guess you were a happy son of a bitch if you got a Lego Harry Potter set.
Oh, man.
Big in the early 2000s, 2001. Combined Lego's creativity with the beloved franchise. Price tag, we just talked about this earlier, and how expensive they are. Anywhere from $30 to $200, depending on the set.
I wonder what the percentage cut is that goes directly to her bank account just for the IP of Harry Potter.
Lego Harry Potter.
Yeah, what you brought up the price? I wonder if it's like whether it costs $30, whether it costs $200. What is the blanket percentage that goes directly to her bank account for freaking Lego Harry Potter IP? Dude, she would as much as she made on the book sales, on the movie, on the dude, just the Lego sales alone, bro.
That off of a fucking like Harry Potter pencil set. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start getting that higher cachet of like Legos and all this other shit.
You could just say like you could just throw out a number. You could start at like 10%. You can start at 10% and see what they come back with.
She's got that George Lucas money. Maybe even in her lifetime more, because Harry Potter is one of those fucking crazy things where it's just been around. And it's still young. It's still reiterating.
They're built down in my neck of the woods. They're building Universal is expanding again. Another land. Dude, yeah, it is just She got, dude. I would hope the smart businesswoman in her was like, you know what? I don't want a lump sum. Just percentage on everything. Just give me percentage on everything.
She just has one of those old timey like tickers that just show her money. You know, like a really long. I could just see her doing that. In her mansion.
Oh man.
No man ladies that can come.
Yeah, no man ladies.
All right, let's finally end this off with the worst gifts you could get in 2000. Our final run here. The fucking
Snuggie.
Snuggie was one of those, came along in 2008. Derived from its infomercial blanket with sleeves concept, and people just went fucking crazy for it. This was one of those things that like. I remember my mom bought me one and I was just like, oh God, you know, like wear it once in front of her and then you bring it home and eventually it just dies in your closet somewhere. And then can you imagine the Goodwills around the country after this fad died down? You couldn't give Snuggies away.
Dude, all I know is they're still making Snuggies. So
they still rock.
Dude, not only are they making Snuggies, there's like the knockoff Snuggie. Isn't it called like the Huggy or something else? Like whatever. Dude, it is so popular. Not only has it stayed around, it has spawned imitators, dude.
Really,
So
it really has, man. You really can't kill it. I mean, it's just kind of like the uniform for a lazy piece of shit, you know? It's just
yeah, and dude, I am self-admitted. I'm a lazy piece of shit. I don't own a Snuggie. The fact that I don't own a Snuggie, like I am looking down on people who are like, this will do, this will do.
You are being judged.
Yeah,
people that have Snuggies. I don't know why. I guess just put a blanket on and take it off. You don't always have to be walking around with the blanket on you. If that's the life that you want to live, just wear a blanket like the cape.
And you know 100% that the majority of people who are rocking the Snuggie at home, they're eating in the Snuggie, and they're not giving a fuck about spills on the Snuggie. Yeah, they're not giving a fuck about
Bell sauce on that shit.
Yeah, there is no care of the Snuggie. It's not a bib. It's a blanket that has sleeves. You're not supposed to freaking soil it. It's supposed to comfort you.
If these Snuggies could talk, right? Jesus Christ, dude. All right, moving on to another worst gift of the 2000s. This one again, kind of playing on its quiche little fucking name, Heelys.
Oh man,
a shoe with a built-in wheel, and then of course it says led to frequent accidents for. $60. They still make these. They make like adult versions of these. People do like trick videos in like fucking like half pipes and shit with these things now. So I think there's like a small bastion of people that try to keep it cool, but it just seems super bad idea to just put wheels on your kids at all times. Like your kid must be eating shit on a regular basis in Heelys.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they are still like you can buy these without signing a waiver, because this seems like lawsuit waiting to happen. Like like
it's the first crown here in the 2000s.
You must be this old to purchase Heelys.
Sorry, Heelys. Yeah, and if you're dating a guy that has Heelys, that's a red flag. Let's just say that is a huge red flag. But another red flag would be if you got an iPod sock.
Oh my lord,
this blew my fucking mind. Because this to me is a symbol of like Apple dipping their toe in the water and saying, what will people pay us for?
Yeah.
The Apple socks, okay, colorful socks for iPods were seen as overpriced and pointless. Shocker. $30 for a pair of 6 different colored fucking colorful iPod socks. Like, for one, I never met anybody, and I'm glad I didn't, because I would never want to talk to them again. If you showed up and you pulled your iPad out of a fucking Apple branded iPod sock.
$30 for a set, dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
What's their end cost? Cents? You know what I mean? Like literally cents. It had to have. There's no way that however they were packaging and selling these, that this cost more than cents, and they put $30 on it, dude. Of course, somebody was like, "Fuck it, let's see what the thing."
I mean, I get it. You get a pack of 6, but here's the thing too: like
$30 for nylon.
It's not protecting the iPod in any fashion.
It's waste fabric.
You drop that thing, it's still gonna break. Yeah. It's literally just vanity. It's like put a sock on your iPad.
Yeah, but it has a little Apple, so you know it's legit. It has a little Apple tag, so you know that it's legit sock. It's an official.
So rightfully so. Yeah, that's probably right up there in one of the worst of the 2000s gifts. We have 2 more. Here we go. The Sony a robotic dog that was cool but widely expensive, came out in the 2000s, price tagged back in the 2000s for $2,000 for this fake quasi-futuristic pet. They still make this to this day. They still make this Aobo brand, and it's still like a very small. It's not like obviously a life-size dog. It's a tiny little dog. You teach all these fucking commands to it. But again, it just seems like a super expensive thing that you're going to get tired of. It's like a very expensive Tamagotchi, maybe.
I mean,
I don't get it.
$2,000 for
$2,000.
Well, what is the age too, right? It's like, is your kid going to be young enough where it doesn't really know what it does, so it doesn't utilize the full $2,000 worth? Or is your kid going to be old enough where it wants to like break it because it gets mad at it? Or is your kid going to be old or to the age where it's like, why did you buy me a $2,000 robot dog when you could have like said, I'm going to get you a car in 2 years? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like this is like a very white person problem gift.
I think so. And it's also kind of like, you know, everybody just wait until you can buy one of those like super sweet, like MIT.
Yeah, give me the Boston Dynamics one. Give me the military grade one.
I want. They can chase my fucking victims.
Yeah, I want to scare North Korean soldiers with my robot dog.
So you got nothing on futuristic robot dogs. Aiba? I think
it's Abo.
Abo.
I think it's Abo. I think.
Abo. All right. And then finally rounding it off, I feel this brings everything full circle. One of the worst gifts that you could get in the 2000s was the USB Pat Rock. We have come full circle. 2006, a pointless follow-up to the original Pat Rock with no functionality. So just another, just like, hey, remember me? I'm the Pat Rock guy. I'm super rich. I have a super yacht. I'm off the grid. I just decided to pop back up into society and make fun of everybody one more time. It'll cost $10.
If he literally like genied in a or lightning in a bottle this 2 decades or 3 decades later,
I know.
If it is somebody that just like paid for the licensing and everything, still the guy's making out. But if it's the same, if the same Pet Rock guy came up with the USB Pet Rock, bravo.
And I think that's a fitting way to end best worst here on our Anachronology Holiday Special.
Hello, Anachronology viewers. I am here to remind you that you can view or listen to our program on any of the available social media platforms. You have a multitude of choices to enjoy our weekly adventures throughout the space-time continuum. We thank you for your continued support and look forward to providing you with incredible content and amazing nostalgic feels. Now back to your regular scheduled year. Goodbye.